All right, Shane, so let's kick it over to the other side of this one, Tennessee. And, I think I'm so surprised to see so many Tennessee fans. It's not everybody, and maybe I'm just seeing some negativity and I'm reading too much into it. But last time I checked, Shane, not that the competition has been great, but Tennessee scored 128 points so far this season. I think that's third or fourth best in the SEC. And I think the defense has been a lot better than most people anticipated. I saw this tweet from John Reed. I'll throw it up here on the screen. But, he said, what is it that Josh Heupel has to avoid in his first Florida game? And I thought that was a terrific question. So I'll ask it to you, Shane. What is something, even Tennessee homer like yourself, we just said you sound pretty depressed just talking about this game. So I know you're not, guaranteeing a Tennessee win by any means, but I don't think it would be like the biggest upset in the world if it did happen. But taking that into consideration, what is it that you'll be looking for in this game, and what do you want to see from a Josh Heupel coach team in his first matchup against Florida?
Well, what I want to see from Heupel, for starters, is this is his first year. This is a lot of kids on this program never played against Florida. They don't know the history like you and me. I think that's the biggest thing. It's like you go in thinking you're going to lose. Well, you're going to lose. Right. And I think one thing Tennessee's shown us, even though they lost that game to Pitt, man, they had freaking heart, dude, and they were scrappy and they fought to the very end. Did they make mistakes? Absolutely, they made a lot of mistakes, and if they didn't make half those mistakes, we probably would have had a victory there. And so I just think going into this Florida game, what we got to do is have fun, man. I know that sounds stupid, but don't get conservative. If you're going to air it out, I'd love the fact. Listen, I was heartbroken when Milton threw it a mile past our open receivers. You know what I'm saying? I was just like, oh my God, but it was there. And that's what you got to have. And who knows? Sometimes the stars align and everything just goes your way. If they come out there and Florida does come out flat and they have a script of run the ball, play defense, but Tennessee scoring on every other drive just because they're catching some of them long balls or just some good play calling, I think that's the key, Mike, is don't get conservative because it's a tougher opponent than you've faced this year. Come out slinging, man. And if you can't find that chemistry, don't be afraid to throw in another quarterback and find somebody that can, because we looked at this at like Garantano last few years. Something was going on in practice, and Pruitt was saying this is our guy. But then when it got to the lights on, the noise, he just couldn't make it happen. Some people play better than they do practicing. So that's what I want to see. If we're going to start rotating some quarterbacks, let's do it earlier. And if Hooker's not getting the job done, put somebody else in there. And if we're getting our asses smoked, that's okay. Keep airing it out. Keep trying to work. There's no better practice than going against a team like the Florida Gators. Yeah, you may not win, but you may learn something. And who knows, you may catch them just on the right day. So miracles happen. Look last week, man. Kentucky was going toe-to-toe with UTC. I mean, think about that, Mike. They said that they're ranked second from the bottom in their own conference. Mm-hmm. Those two teams didn't. That shouldn't have been a ball game, but it was. So I think that's what Tennessee has to do, is just forget the records, forget all that shit that I said here at the start of this show. Go out there, have some fun. You probably think that you don't belong, whatever, man. Just go out there and sling the rock, and next thing you know, I mean, if you can get in some sort of shootout, that's something the Florida Gators haven't had to do yet.
Yeah, and I think the most important thing you hit on there, Shane, it's almost flipping the script from last week with Florida. Mm-hmm. Tennessee has got to believe they can win this football game. And, we said hardly anyone thinks that they can compete and beat Alabama. Florida is basically Tennessee's Alabama. I know they still got to play Alabama, but this is a game Tennessee fans, I think year after year, I mean, at this point, they just are they face the fact they're going to lose, and if they keep it close, they'll probably get embarrassed by the end. You know what I mean? So, and I think that trickles down to the coaches and the players. And this is a new era of Tennessee. A lot of fresh faces on this team, a lot of transfers. So this will be their first Florida game, and you just got to hope that they don't have that mentality. They believe they can win, and maybe they can have a clean slate, so to speak, win this Florida Gator series. You know what?
Well, and you think about the staff that we just had. Pruitt played conservative going into games like this. He didn't want to lose big. That's what it felt like. It didn't feel like we went out there to win. It just felt like we went out there to not lose by as many as Vegas is predicting. So I don't want my coach to do that, man. There's a reason we brought you up here. We want to be different. We want to be – I mean, look at teams like Ole Miss right now just scoring at will, 3-minute drives. They didn't do it overnight, but it slowly became that, and now they're just a machine. So that's what we've got to create, and we got to create that environment. And like you said, you don't get out there doing that by running – first, every day, I mean, think about that. Every time Pruitt got out there, it was let's just run it off the right guard here and see what happens. No, you just wasted a play. Air that damn thing out and throw it 40 yards down the field. It may connect. Guess what, man? That takes the crowd noise out of it immediately.
Coach, if Joe is healthy, is he your starter, or do you have a quarterback competition this week?
I never speak in hypotheticals. Got a little bit of work last week. We'll find out where he is, in particular, Tuesday, Wednesday here, and see where we're at that point as far as whether he'll be able to play or not.
Josh, you've talked about your offense. Maybe you wanted to play faster, to execute crisper. How many moving parts are there to that? How many things are there that you're looking at saying, I want that to be better so this thing can go faster?
We want, when we're playing with tempo, we want to be more efficient, and that can be ball mechanics, it can be eyes, it can be alignment, assignment. All of those things can help us play quicker when we're playing within our tempo. Even when we're not playing in our tempo, the execution can be higher. You guys have seen opportunities that present themselves, in particular in the pass game, vertical pass game, that we have to start hitting. We're capable of it. Seen us do it. It's time to go execute that on the field.
Josh, on the missed vertical routes the other day, the passing game, you said you want your guys to grow out of that. Have you been in a situation in the past where guys struggled to complete those balls early on and then improved on it later in the year?
As you get further in the number of times that you've played, the more looks that you've seen as you continue to grow, absolutely have seen that transpire in my career.